All right. Find a nice comfy spot.
Starting with the meditation.
Yeah, a little meditation. We can breathe.
Or we could do like an opening ceremony or something.
Yeah, for the podcast. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a yoga class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Like
Maybe that'll be the unique thing about this podcast. Everyone asks too, like, what's it about? And I'm like, just talking about life and stuff. It's like, but if we had a ceremony at the beginning, then that would be different.
Oh yeah. Shooting the shit with a ceremony.
Yeah, shooting the shit. The podcast, I don't know if I had told you, but I almost wanted to call it Smokes and Jokes. And then just be like, have you ever heard Tom say, like, I got to go take a smoke break? But none of us smoke. So
Right.
I thought it would maybe send the wrong message. Like, we're just on here getting high.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But people would have to watch enough to see through it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. You got to get to the end.
Yeah.
You're waiting for the real message.
Yeah. It could just be a bait and switch name, like.
Yeah. Like, are they ever going to smoke? Or tell any jokes?
Right.
Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Happy to have you as a business partner and a friend for a long time.
Yeah.
Lots of hilarious stuff has happened. I thought it'd be nice, actually the premise of the podcast is kind of to hear people's stories and get to the root of, like, things that they've learned over the course of their life and try to figure out what the heck is going on in this human experience. And so, I admire you for your hard work and dedication. And I kind of see you, like, if people ask me about you, I tell them like what kind of terrible person you are, but
yeah, of course.
But also, you're pretty much retired, and I don't know at what age you did that, like 35 or 34 or something, but
2017, what does that mean?
Yeah.
34, yeah.
Yeah, 34, which, I know, like...
It was a forced retirement, though.
Yeah, they were like, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done in the workforce.
You made too much money. We got to let you go.
Yeah, and so, it's kind of a unique experience being, semi-retired at 34, so kind of want to hear about what it's like to be retired.
Yeah. Well...
How did you do? Tell us all your secrets,
I mean... I grew up poor, so I'm extremely frugal. That's one of my secrets, is just like, I don't spend any money. I just save it all. And
yeah. I've witnessed some of this.
Yeah. Most people who are close to me kind of have seen it to one extent or the other. Like, I've definitely gotten better, and that's actually one thing that I've had to adjust, because I realized that it doesn't allow me to live fully if I'm pinching pennies. So I've gotten a lot better about spending money and allowing myself to, like, enjoy the fruits of my labor rather than just, like, fearfully hold on to them, even though, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are there any, like, areas that you, like, draw a line and don't spend any money, or areas that you just, like, for some reason you don't, like, have any rules, or you just let yourself go wild and, like, treat yourself? And
well, I'll tell you what, if it's a deal, I'm there.
Yeah.
If it's like a highly rated deal, count me in.
I don't know if we can say this on here. I'm not sure, like,
and the strip club, of course.
Oh, obviously the strip club. Yeah. That's where I spend all my money, actually. And unfortunately, I spent it all there. So now I'm starting from square one again.
Strip club and the casino.
Yeah. So if you want to support the podcast and us going to the strip club, please donate now.
Yeah, please.
Send us your money.
Ones, please.
Yeah,
if you could send an envelope of ones.
Yeah, we'll put the P.O. box up here and you just mail us some envelopes. It would be great. The girls are going to be happy too. So.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not for us, really. It's for them.
Yep. They're like, we'll send you... when you donate, we'll send you a picture of the girl you're supporting, and like biography and what they're going through in their life, you'll feel really good about yourself.
And for a low payment of 99 cents a month, you too can support a young woman going through working her way through college. Start right here in your own country. It's like one of those infomercials that are on late at night.
You can support this young stripper.
Yeah. Definitely lots of love to any strippers out there, and you're doing a great job. Live your life, girl.
But secrets to success.
Oh, I also it's funny being on the podcast is like you kind of got to learn like what you can say, what you can't say.
Oh, for sure.
And then there's like, can I mention name brands? I don't even know yet, but
I think we can edit stuff out. So
yeah, we can edit.
Like at least half of this conversation is just going to be beeps.
Yeah, beep. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that, and then we got to build the suspense too. So it's like if you really want a deal, then visit. I'm gonna have to work on that in editing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. How? Yeah. What was it like growing up, and what did you want to be? I guess when you grew up. Let's start way back.
Start way back. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I really had a fondness of animals. I think when I was really young.
Mm-hmm. Is this like before Steve Irwin? Or like before he was cool, or you think around the same time?
I remember my mom driving down the road and she like hit a bird or something, and I just like would cry.
Oh.
Yeah. I just had like a compassion towards animals. I don't know. I think a lot of kids have that. We all go through that vet phase, but I think mine did last a little longer. Like I kind of like, maybe that's what I should go for, is like something with animals. We could do yoga with animals. Maybe.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I got to say too, I think some kids got it, and then there's some kids like my friend's brother.
Oh God.
That I mean, this is an honest to God story. Is hearing of him taking a box of free kittens.
Oh,
this is too sad to say. I don't even want to say what he did with them, but they're definitely. That bird that you hit, it could have been a kitten.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's pretty sad, but I don't know if
highway overpasses.
I don't know if all kids get it, but I'm glad that you did, because this would be a very different podcast.
Yeah. Can you imagine him being a vet? Oh gosh.
Oh, man.
You got a sick dog. I'll take care of him.
That's like some pet cemetery shit or something.
Yeah, it's like the.
It's like why did none of the pets get better?
All pets go to heaven at this veterinary center.
Or he's like Dr. Frankenpet, and he's like putting different pets together. Or something. He's like, why does my hamster have a tail?
But yeah, what else? I think that was definitely something that I dreamed of.
Being a vet,
working with animals and being a vet. Like, I think I went towards pre-med. Mm-hmm. My dad's a doctor, so I think that kind of was a fusion of my dad and his job, and like just like that rubbing off on me a little bit, and then also my love of animals, and like it was a compromise, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that was too much school, so.
Yeah. Did you so by the time you got to school, we're talking college, you'd given up on the vet idea, or were you still thinking about that?
I don't know. I've always had a passion for animals, and like, I don't know, like compassion towards animals, but also just like all the animal documentaries and like being out in the jungle, trekking, seeing animals. Yeah. I love animals, and so.
Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite animal? I like most of them, but the mosquito is definitely my favorite.
The mosquito in the animal kingdom.
Actually, that's my least favorite. I feel like that's really the only animal I don't like.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty annoying.
Yeah,
I gotta say. Yeah.
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 I don't know. I wonder if we could actually do without them. Like, Like,
Yeah.
any animal that's eradicated, it's going to like change the ecosystem
Totally.
dramatically. So,
But that one it might be worth a try.
maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be different areas too. Maybe who knows, messing with all that stuff. But no love for the mosquitoes.
Yeah. But I don't know, like, when that transition happened. At some point.
Yeah.
It just like, I like biology. I love that class, and I love it. So I got to take a lot of biology in pre-med, so that was nice at least.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And then you think maybe like the overshadowing of your dad being a doctor like led you down that path of like.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, probably I saw him making money and like not liking his job.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to not like my job and make money too.
Yeah, you're like, that totally makes sense. Like, he looks miserable.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to be just like him. And so he was a doctor, but he was a poor doctor? Or was it, you said you grew up poor, right? But
I mean, I lived with my mom for most of my childhood. Oh, okay. And my mom was very poor.
I knew that. I don't know why I was like leading the question. I don't know why I did that.
Well, the audience doesn't know. Right?
They don't know that. Yeah. They don't know how much I know. But so you grew up with your mom, and then your dad was.
Yeah, they kind of like split when I was like 2, maybe.
Yeah.
And then went on some adventures with my mom, and maybe like my dad came back into my life maybe around 10, I want to say, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I had like visitation with my dad a bit, where I'd go visit him and his wife, and then I don't know. My dad says like that I did in fact want to go live with him, but all I remember is not really wanting to live there once he actually got custody of me, because he did get custody of me at some point, and then my mom like fled to Washington with me, and then I had to be shuttled over to my dad's in Michigan, which I didn't like at all. That was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And then I remember I didn't like it so much. You probably remember this.
Oh, I remember this.
I had like, my mom had me for summer, and then I was with my dad during the school year. So I came back, and the summer after 7th grade, came back to Washington. And then at the end, like, I had a lot of fun, and I had friends here and stuff. At the end of that summer break, I was supposed to fly back, and my mom and I were staying with you and your parents.
Yeah.
And she was going to drop me off at the airport in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to go back so much that we went for a walk, and I was just like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And we just kept walking.
Yeah. It's like we orchestrated this plan that was like, if we're not there, then they can't take you to the airport.
If I miss this flight, I never have to go
I never
back.
have to go. This is the one flight that goes to Michigan for this
the rest
whole
of the
year.
year.
And if I miss it, then there's no way.
Yeah, but I did get to stay.
Logic.
Yeah, exactly. I went to school. We went back to Chelan, and then my mom, she must have been on the same thought pattern, because she's like, let's enroll you in school now. So I went to school for one day, literally in the middle of class. The police show up, and they're like, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be on a flight to Michigan. So they like pull me out of school and like escort me to the airport, and then I'm taken back to my dad's.
Damn.
Basically, it was maximum security prison. So.
Yeah, like, you're going to lockdown, buddy. Get in the van. Man, that's crazy. We got her on the one flight plan too. Right. It was like, listen, Sarah, there's no other flights. We missed it, and that's it. I guess I'm just gonna have to go to school here.
Exactly.
She's like, okay, all right, let's go.
I don't even know how that worked. Like, I don't think there was any communication with my mom and my dad. Like, there was no communication between them. So
that's what I wonder. It's like, that seems like it could have been solved with an easy phone call or something, but maybe not. And can you imagine, like, your dad's probably thinking that your mom is, like, holding out. Like,
Probably.
where is he? Like,
yeah.
And it's crazy, too, just to think, like, that's one thing about, like, parents that are separated with kids. It's, like, this battle of who gets who. And then, like, you know, it's seemingly obvious that you wanted to stay in Chelan.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, there's all sorts of circumstances. But it just seems so strange.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, I was actually talking to a friend who, it was like a poly friend, and they were like a throuple. It was 2 gals and a guy, and then it was like they were all married together, and then just one day, one of the gals just like up and leaves and flees to Canada with the kids.
What?
And they were all raising these kids together. So, I mean, doesn't matter who's genetically really, like, these kids have been parented by all of them, so they all kind of have a right to be involved in these kids' lives. So, but anyway, and it's like she was talking about how the kids, they don't even want to be in Canada, and they don't want to be with this other parent, but the parent just like doesn't see it at all, and it's like, how do you not like listen to your kids? And I don't know. To me, it's really interesting. And
I can imagine it's tough too, because I mean, kids are full of shit. Like sometimes, you know, and it's like they're like, I want chocolate all the time, and it's like, well, that's not what's good for you. But it's like it's hard to decipher.
That's true. That makes sense.
You know, there's probably a little bit of that, but then also like that whole like running away to Canada, like that whole thing is just suspect. But, yeah. But it's strange, the parents thinking that, you know, they know what's best for the kid, or they're trying to interpret what the kid wants. But then there's and then we're dealing with our judgments and relationships with the other parents and stuff. And I feel like I was a product of that a little bit. My parents were separated, but then we lived together again, and then thankfully neither of my parents wanted me, so I was just able to choose whichever one I wanted to go with. No, I'm kidding. No, my parents were, even though they didn't really get along, they kind of came together for us at least, and like we're pretty reasonable actually. Like even though, you know, they didn't really like each other too much, which was kind of cool to see. That was one positive thing. But my parents never came together. They did get together. The one time that they got together is for my wedding, actually. They were both in the same place at the same time. Oh, yeah.
And I kind of remember like taking a picture with both of them at the same time. And my mom, it seemed like she was getting real like grabby towards my dad. It is what it seemed like. I don't know. It's what I remember. It was like she was like wanted to get him in the picture with her type of thing. It was interesting.
That is weird to see the dynamics. Like if you never experienced them together, and then like, what is that like? That's weird. Yeah. What about you? You think you want to have kids at some point?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Mm-hmm. Like there's definitely a desire there. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be fun to have kids and just like do your best to raise them and spend time with them and love them as much as you can. Yeah.
What do you have like a plan? How are you gonna kid it up, or have you said anything's in motion to kid town?
Speaking of having kids too, you're about to have a kid potentially.
Oh, well, you know, maybe, potentially, still in the works.
Yeah. And I so you may be in the process of making a kid with someone else, another couple. Yeah. And I may have done that as well. So I may already have kids.
You might have kids already. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because you did the sperm donor
exactly.
thing. Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How does that work? I guess it sounds like it hasn't happened yet, but if someone does, I mean, it's been a couple years now or something, right? So
it was like maybe 2019 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could have a little toddler running around.
I could.
Yeah.
I could, but they can only contact once they're 18.
Oh,
Like
that's
they get,
the rule.
Yeah, they get like a phone call.
Oh, yeah, they're like.
I mean, that's all. Like
prison.
it was like, do you consent to a phone call when they're 18, type of thing? And I was like, sure. Yeah,
interesting. It's like really separated.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm like going the backwater route, like where we're just going offline,
expedition,
just winging it, buying kits on Amazon, and like.
Just the turkey baster.
Just a turkey baster. It's just a fancy looking turkey baster. Yeah. No, we haven't done any of that yet. I actually, before this, I was, I will tell you, it is not the way to get ready for a podcast, because I went to the walk-in clinic.
Oh gosh.
And I waited for 2.5 hours.
They give you a 15-minute estimate, right? They're like,
no, they didn't. They don't even say. They're just like, it's like you're at a deli. They're like, grab a ticket and sit down.
Oh yeah, take your number.
And then you're like, okay, well, this is a waiting, and that there's like a number system.
Yeah, I was about
waiting.
to ask. Did you see your number?
Yeah, I was like, at the time, it was like I was 4 away.
Oh,
I was like, okay, like that went pretty quick. But then you put in all your information. Then it's like, all right, well, have a seat, and we'll call you when it's up. And it was like 1 hour.
There was no secondary ticket. There was zero waiting.
Zero
there.
ticket.
That's the worst.
Second tier ticket.
That is
system.
the worst. It's the worst waiting for something when you don't know how long you're waiting.
Yeah.
Like if at least there was like a progress bar or something.
Yeah.
It would have calmed your nerves.
And it's like that's the worst. And then when you haven't eaten, that's the worst, because you're getting hungrier and hungrier. And then you schedule an appointment for afterwards. So then you're putting off your appointment. So you're just like, all these anxieties are coming at you from different angles. And then they got a Denzel Washington movie playing that's like he's holding up a hospital because he couldn't get service either. He's like, I'm taking matters into my own hand.
Right. I feel like you're like getting ideas. You're like, oh, maybe I should.
Yeah, the irony.
If I do that, I could be back for this podcast.
I could be back. Get my semen in a cup in no time. You're gonna take my semen. Oh man, the irony of them playing that movie is like ridiculous.
That is hilarious. Yeah.
And I didn't even get to go because I'd pushed this off so long that I was like, I gotta just go and prepare for this, and I'm like about to lose my mind.
Yeah, I didn't even ask you what it was, but it was first 30 minutes and then an hour.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, no, it was like...
Not that I care.
Oh, like 2 hours.
You know, I'm retired, so...
Yeah, so thank you for putting it off, but it was a heck of a time. So, if you're thinking about filming a podcast, don't try to squeeze the clinic in before that. But yeah, I'll do all the testing and stuff and see if we're a good match and that I'm clean and stuff and whatever else they got to know. You got to look at all these genetic diseases.
Yeah, I remember that.
And there's a huge list. And one of them, which I kind of hope I have, but I don't think I do, is the maple syrup syndrome, which I guess maybe your urine smells like...
Maple syrup urine syndrome, right?
Yeah.
And I think and it tastes really good.
Yeah. Yeah. It comes out like maple syrup, actually. And, there's waffles on hand and stuff.
Yeah. That's where all of our maple syrup comes from.
That's where it comes from. Yeah. And babies. Yeah.
They have, if you do find out that you have that, they actually confiscate you and they tap you.
Yeah. And you have to work in a factory right next to the Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, exactly.
To the maple syrup warehouse. So you were a child of a broken home, and then you're like, you know what? Did you finish college?
Did I? Well,
we're going.
I finished high school.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah. I mean, you did finish college in the way that you decided that you were done with it. So, got a degree. I don't know. Maybe they'd give you an honorary degree if you just asked them.
The thing is, I had because I jumped around a lot and I couldn't make up my mind.
Oh.
I did pursue the pre-med for, I feel like 2 years or something. Mm-hmm. And then, my dad got a divorce. And then he was like, well, son, I lost all my money, so I can't give you any more money. Pretty much. Like, I don't have any more money. Like, I don't have enough money now to pay for this.
Oh,
so then I joined the Air Force. I was like on the fence of joining either the Air Force Reserve
Mm-hmm.
or like going full drinking the Kool-Aid like hardcore and going like special ops.
Oh yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't do that. Like my
Man.
life would have been so different if
Oh,
I would
man.
have gone full in.
I also was like coming out of high school, like really looking at that as an option, and
Yeah.
like there's part of me that's like it's like the challenge of like, can I
sure.
do it? And
We're also
you're like,
so brainwashed by media that it's like cool and stuff to
Oh.
go like kill.
I mean, have you
and-
seen the like join the army commercials?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
driving tanks and they're
Well, I
cool
mean, and-
getting all the ladies.
And like when I was young, I idolized a lot of these like action movie stars, like
Oh.
Jean-Claude Van Damme
Oh, absolutely.
and Arnold, you know, or whoever. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, they're so cool.
Yeah,
They-
Rambo.
Yeah, they
like,
make us
whoever.
idolize them as
Yeah.
a young boy, and you're like, military and stuff is super cool.
I wonder, I don't know how it works. I wonder if there's like some sponsorship of like action movies in the military. It's like, okay, we need more people becoming Green Berets.
Yeah.
And then like,
I
let's
imagine
get
we could
Sylvester Stallone
We could
in
create
here.
a conspiracy theory about that if we wanted.
Oh, we could. This is where you heard it here first, folks. Oh man.
But yeah, so I joined the Air Force Reserves, and then I did continue my college education, and then I like veered into like some Japanese there.
Yeah.
And then went towards like pilot school, aviation,
Mhm.
and business, and then business. So it was like I had a lot of credits,
Yeah.
and I think I was really close, probably like within a quarter or two from getting like a gen ed type
yeah.
of degree.
Yeah.
But then Renee came into my life.
Oh yeah, Renee.
Oh, I shouldn't mention
You're-
names. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I mean, to each knows. We could make up a name now.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Fiona.
Fiona.
Yeah, Fiona. Came
Forget
into
what
my
you
life.
heard a second ago. We're talking about Fiona.
Yeah.
That was like a kind of like a fairy tale.
A
Where
little
it's
bit.
like a high school.
Yeah, well, actually, elementary school.
Oh.
Like, I knew Fiona in elementary school. She was like, I remember we played hooky
Hmm.
and together.
Yeah.
And we're like, we walked to school together, but then we just hid in the bushes, and literally the whole day we were just in the bushes making out.
Oh shit.
And this was in like,
What grade was that? Yeah.
I want to say like maybe 4th or 5th.
Dang. I've only even heard of that in 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah.
Like that was just a myth.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like, and then and then she was like, my mom's gonna be so. It might have been me,
That's
my
crazy,
idea, but she's
too,
like,
like-
my mom's gonna be so mad. Like I didn't get my homework, so we like.
Did-
We went through the process of like, oh, I could go get your homework for you.
Oh
And you can bring it home and your mom will never know you skipped school. I literally went into the school, like
Whoa.
towards the end of school, walked into her class, like as school was finishing,
Yeah.
and got her homework. And then she would brought it back.
What the heck?
Yeah.
And the teachers are just like, who's this kid?
And of course,
Like,
as soon
oh,
as
yeah.
we get home, our moms
Yeah.
are like, you guys weren't in school. What was going on?
Yeah, yeah. Can you imagine though, just like 4th and 5th graders just not there, like as a teacher or like as a parent, you're like, where the fuck are they?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like all day. You'd be
All day.
worried.
Yeah, you'd be worried sick. Like my kid's not at school.
Yeah, and there's
like,
no cell phones back then. It's
Yeah.
like they had no way
Yeah.
of knowing where we're
They
at.
can't be in Michigan. There's only one flight, so I don't know where else they could be.
Yeah. Oh man.
Dude, that's wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she was kind of like probably my first romance, like
Yeah.
successful one at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There was plenty others in
Plenty
my head.
of imaginary
but-
romances
Yeah, exactly.
back then. What I was gonna say is like that kind of thing was like a myth. Like I feel like I don't think I knew anyone in elementary school that has like kissed a girl.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, I think maybe like in 6th grade at Kelsey's birthday party was like Fiona 2.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'm running out of names. No, Kelsey's birthday. I think it's okay to say first names. Maybe we're not famous, so
That yeah.
Anyway,
you might
unless
get
you're gonna
sued.
talk shit about them, then maybe
You just be like, it was a different Kelsey.
this
It was a
one
different
girl.
Fiona, different Renee.
Yeah, Karen. Yeah, Kelsey's birthday party, 6th grade. We played Spin the Bottle.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that was it. Yeah, I think I kissed Ubani or something. I can't even remember.
Is that your
back
first
then.
kiss?
I think so. It like my first kiss outside of that was like in 7th grade. I think
Okay.
it was like, and then she was a underclassman. She was a 6th grader,
Oh,
and
wow.
at that time it was like a different school. Like we were in middle school,
Yeah.
and she was back at the elementary school, so it was like a little scandalous. But we went over to her house, and I was mortified. I was like, so when I was a kid, a girl, my friends would call the house.
Yeah.
And I was like, sure, I get the phone or someone else to answer. But if I knew that it was like, if I was going to have a girl call, I had to know if they were going to call, because I had to be the first one to the phone.
Oh, yeah.
So no one knew.
You didn't want your sister to answer.
No, I didn't want my sister. I didn't want my mom. I didn't want anyone to know. And so I'd be like, why is he running to the phone like it's the Olympics? And I did that
Nope,
so
it's just
much.
a creditor. I mean, Mom,
Yeah.
it's for you.
I did that so much, though, that like when I became a teenager, and for whatever reason, my mom thought it was a great time to bring it up when my friend Aaron and David were over, and she I don't even know how it came up, but she was like, Tommy, it's okay if you're gay. And it's like, it's not even a big deal.
She's like, she
especially
thought
now.
that's why you were running to the phone to hide it.
I don't know, but it's because I only ever hung out with Aaron and David.
Oh, uh-huh.
So she was like, he's never like talked about a girl or anything. And then it was like, I don't know why she brought it up in front of your friends, but when you're like not used to talking about sexuality, and then your mom just goes straight in for like, it's cool if you're gay. You're just mortified, and my friends are just laughing hysterically.
Oh man!
And but that just means I was pretty good at getting the phone. So silver lining,
secret.
So good, yeah. So that's how it came out. That's how I came out of the closet.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was in a closet.
Yeah. Your
and
mom brought you out of the
my
closet.
mom brought me out.
She just grabbed your hand.
Yeah,
and pulled
like,
you
come
out.
on out here. Your friends are here. Yeah. Yeah, so you met Renee. You reconnected, though.
Yeah. So, I don't know, Facebook or something. I think it was Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in Puyallup.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, I was in Ellensburg. And yeah, I was in Ellensburg going to school, and then she was in Vancouver. So I was like,
Vancouver, Washington,
right? But there was like this fairy tale dream, right? Like, oh my gosh, I'm reconnecting with this first love, and this is it.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant to be. This is fate.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, I've been in those situations. I actually have a thing now, like when I meet people, I hear about relationships, and it's like, you can kind of tell now if you've gone through it, like when someone's turning it into a fairy tale.
Oh, for sure.
And you got to watch out, because
yeah.
you're gonna be like in an imaginary family house with 3 or 4 kids before you know it, and you don't want to let them down because you didn't know that was going on.
Oh yeah.
Because you're not always talking about the fantasy, but
yeah,
that's happening.
It's a good rule not to like get too deep into those fantasies in a relationship.
Oh yeah.
Because like you're setting yourself up for some high expectations.
Yeah.
Without like potentially even talking about it at all.
Yeah. And I think too, like, if you're always like kind of connecting over these collective fantasies, you're not actually getting to know each other. You're like, oh, we both are interested in this same future, but do I actually like the person?
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I like what they would want in the future.
Right.
And it's easy to relate on those
Right,
levels,
right.
but then you don't like see the...
Our perfect actualized selves would just love each other.
Yeah. Oh, man. When you're living for the potential of somebody,
Right.
whew, that's a good one. Yeah. I've been there. Like, I don't know if like guys or girls do it more, but I feel like I've heard so many times like girls like, it's like waiting for the potential of a guy. It's like he would be so good.
Oh, yeah.
If he just like did this and it was a completely different person.
for
He'd
sure.
be awesome.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm one of those people who kind of like waits a little bit. Like I've been stuck in relationships. Renee wasn't that type of relationship though. Mm-hmm. Renee was like I definitely had the Fiona. Oh, Fiona. We can edit
so
all
much
that.
trouble.
Beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep.
Beep, beep, beep. Yeah. You didn't hear that. Hey, Renee. I wonder if she'll watch this. That'd be cool.
But yeah, that would be cool. And then she reaches out again.
Yeah, she's like, now's our chance. Yeah. You just needed it's actually a deeper fantasy than you even imagined.
Right. Now we're ready.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But anyway, yeah, she reached out. And then I was like commuting for this relationship. Like on the weekends, I'd drive down and see her in Vancouver, Washington. And it was like a 4-hour drive to and from. And it was so weird. I don't know if it was the first time I went down there, perhaps. She had a boyfriend already. And then she's basically like, you can save me type of deal going on. And she's like, has some fantasy that I'm Prince Charming coming to rescue her from this bad relationship. And I'm like, yes, I am Prince Charming. I'll come rescue you.
Yeah. I've been in one of those and you're like, Jude, just come with me. I'll get you out of this. Like, I'm going to be so good to you. And like,
that's a really good way to start a relationship. Like,
it's the best. Yeah.
And then if you guys both hold really high expectations that are,
Yeah. Pump it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a
good foundation.
Guaranteed foundation
Rock
for
solid.
Lasting,
fulfilled,
happy relationship.
Yeah.
But it lasted 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And she got me to drop out of college and get a house together. And we ended up getting a house with you.
Oh, yeah.
And Nate, another Nate, two Nates.
Yeah. Did we get Nate right away, though? Or was it? No, we had, because it was also her mom, too. Yeah. Dora,
Renee.
Was
it Cassie?
Cassie was in there right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fiona 3. Fiona and Nate.
Yeah.
Nigel. Call him Nigel.
Oh yeah. Okay. But so, yeah, that was a wild era in my life.
That was a wild era in my life.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was probably the craziest 6 months of my life.
Yeah, I had a fairy tale in that time too with Cassie.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't my first girlfriend, but she's the first and only person I lived with. I mean, I think my high school girlfriend was serious.
Oh yeah. Fiona, 16.
Yeah, Cassie and I, we had a wild go around because when we first started hanging out, we were roommates.
Yeah.
And we would party all the time in that house and just tons of shenanigans.
Oh God.
And then it was like it was the weirdest thing when we would have a party, Cassie and I at some point, Cassie and I started getting together. But then when we would have a party, we would pretend like we weren't. And just like, I don't know who we were fooling, but like just ourselves mainly. But then like when we were at home together, it was like we were really domestic and like just would spend all our time together.
Yeah. I think I was drunk more than I was sober in those 6 months. It was ridiculous.
That was definitely...
It was kind of a dark time, actually. It's a little hazy.
I think back too, and it was kind of dark. Like, there was a lot of... It was just like a roller coaster. Like, very high ups, like
Oh,
fun, laughter, wildness, and then pretty low, like toxic behavior
sure.
too at the same time. But
Yeah.
all in all, like sometimes I think back and just think like, we were all going through that. And like, if we got nitpicky, we could probably like point fingers or lay blame or something. But I think we were all just on a whirlwind of our 20s.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you kind of have to go through those things a little bit.
I didn't realize that was kind of like part of your reason for leaving college. Do you think you would have finished if that didn't come up?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have stayed there and those fantasies, they'll pull you right out of it.
They'll really pull you out of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of pulling out, I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay. We'll take a 5-minute break. First, thank you so much for tuning in. So many of you had such good things to say and such nice things to say about my interview with my mom. I really appreciate that. She's such a great sport about everything, and has been. And again, thank you for the encouragement to keep going. And I'll keep it short, but I'm excited about our guest next week, Bryan Halferty, and I thought it'd be a great idea that this episode is supported by affiliate links where you can get Bryan's book. So I'll leave the link below. It's an affiliate link, so any purchase of the book will help contribute to this podcast and future endeavors. But I'm a little way through the book now, and it's really awesome. It's so far it's a journey of life to help plant a church, and the struggles that we go through in finding purpose and finding meaning and finding the confidence, when we're feeling insecure, and like, who are we to think we can found something? So it's been really beautiful to hear the inside scoop of founding a church. I'm looking forward to hearing more about it next week on the podcast. We'll have him here in the studio, aka my living room. And then the second book, I think, is really an amazing book. If you're interested in mushroom hunting at all, this book, All That the Rain Promises and More, by David Arora, was really like the foundation of me learning mushroom hunting. I teach a mushroom hunting workshop in the fall, and between friends that have done it before, and this book has such a good guide. So there'll be a link to this if you're curious about getting. This is the best mushroom hunting kind of pocket book that I've found so far. So I'll leave links to both of these down, and it helps contribute. And then if you just want to contribute one time or monthly, you can check out the Ko-fi link below as well. And again, we are looking for sponsorship ideas and partnerships to support the podcast and support creative endeavors. So please reach out. And otherwise, thanks for listening, and we'll get back to the podcast. I was asking if you thought you would finish school, if it wasn't for her ruining your life. No, I'm kidding. I feel like that, I don't know about you, but I know we talked like about what you thought you might go into, but to me, that time period, like going through that, like we also tried a bunch of odd jobs. Yeah. And I feel like that kind of shaped kind of your trajectory for like where you made your money and like 100%. How you were able to retire.
Yeah, I mean, the odd jobs we had, like a lot of, well, for me, it was when I came out of school, I pretty quickly transitioned into sales.
Do you want to move it a little bit closer?
Yeah, I can. I pretty quickly transitioned into sales. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, I don't know, Googling, what you can get rich from without any qualifications type of thing. Yeah. So, I remember my first gig was like Penguin Windows. You remember
I did that too.
Oh, did you really?
Bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was walking around
in the Kmart. I don't even think Kmart exists anymore. Maybe somewhere in like Alabama.
But it was like soliciting people
Oh,
in
my
Kmart
God.
to try and get a survey for
That was the
getting
worst.
windows. It was kind of interesting.
It was weird.
It was weird. Did you ever get yelled at or anything? Or?
No, I think I did one day.
And you were like,
and I was like,
I'm out.
No. Yeah.
This is not for me.
Because I remember you'd be in the Kmart and you just have to walk up to random people.
Oh, yeah.
And try to get them to sign up for this survey.
Yeah.
And I think it was more than that. Like, did you ask them about Windows or was it just the survey?
It was just the survey. You're trying to set them up for a consultation.
Yeah.
But you're trying to get their contact information so Penguin Windows can reach out to them and then it's like eventually lead to a sale of Windows. Yeah. But you got paid by you got bonus. I think you got paid by the hour, and then you got paid bonuses if you got a certain number of surveys done type of stuff. So you're really working hard to get people to try it, just to take a survey. You're doing everything.
Yeah. I don't even think I realized that at the time, but that was a qualifying question where it's like, if you're willing to take a survey for Windows, that means you own a house.
Yeah.
But I don't think I realized that at the time. But it's I feel like the whole system was the blind leading the blind. Like the guy that trained me, I don't think he really gave a shit. Yep. He just didn't want to be asking for the surveys either.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting gig.
I wish it was kind of I
think the turnaround rate was 100%.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even last the whole day, I don't think.
I don't remember how long I lasted.
They should have done it that shopping contest where you got a cart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You, put as much stuff into the cart as you can. But
shopping spree style?
Yeah, shopping spree. And then you're trying to get as many surveys, putting people and babies in the cart and signing them up against their will. That would have made for a fun job.
Yeah. But so then after that, I think it was sales again. Mm-hmm. Which was deluxe marketing.
Yeah, door to door.
Door to door.
Yeah.
And that really I remember Joe.
I remember Joe.
He was our fearless leader.
Yeah. He was a good salesman though.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
And it was
kind of inspiring to see.
He was so good because he was high on cocaine.
Yeah.
We figured out that later. But
yeah.
He was hyped and pumped. And
I know. I was like, how do I get that excited? And what we didn't know was there's some extra substance.
You got to snort some Zip Fizz.
Some Zip Fizz. Oh, yeah, the Zip Fizz. Yeah. Oh, man.
He'd bring as much stuff to get us pumped as possible. Energy drinks. And
Joe's a really generous guy.
Yeah.
But you got to learn to say no because he's giving you a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I remember.
Door to door.
I remember he actually is the one who introduced me and maybe you too to Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar.
Oh yeah.
Kind of the big motivational speakers. Mm-hmm. And honestly, listening to those changed my life. He taught me to listen to those type of things in the car, and then is also reinforced by by them talking about listening to it.
I just remembered Automobile University.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. One of them called it that, Zig Ziglar or Jim Rohn or something.
Yeah, or I remember Bryan Tracy.
Oh yeah,
it's the E to E ratio, your education to entertainment ratio, and you got to get it to more education than entertainment.
Yeah,
and you can do that in the car.
Yeah,
so it was I started listening. That's all I listened to.
No, that time changed my life too for the same reason, being in that environment. And I think a big part of it was self-learning, just learning to seek knowledge on your own and to be inspired, and that there's something else out there. I mean, both of us come from kind of a dysfunctional background, and then and if you're, I think some of the rhetoric in my family growing up was this kind of defeated mentality, or you're just getting through. But then to start being around people that are like, you can have any kind of life that you want.
Yeah.
You're like, really? And
Yeah.
you start to believe them.
Mm-hmm.
And then just learning like, oh, like it doesn't have to be through a regular university. There's all this information out there.
Yeah. I mean, before the internet, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you took on the mentality of the people that were around you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there was no real, I mean, I guess you could go to a library or something, but you didn't, like, to find other sources of lifestyles and mindsets was really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting too. I was just thinking as you were saying that too, like you were only like back before you were only subject to the people around you, you know, for better or worse. But now with the internet, you're also subject to a bunch of different personalities for better or worse. So you're going to, you know, some young kid and probably ourselves are going to adopt some idea or personality that we didn't anticipate too. So even just being cautious about what you're bringing in or being aware of the influence that the things you're watching are having on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a totally different, like upbringing. Like you, like a totally different environment nowadays, and than it used to be.
And so that job with Joe was door-to-door sales.
Door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For internet service.
Yeah. Well, TV,
Comcast.
internet, phone, Comcast.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. And the funniest part is like you'd get commission. It was commission only. Mm-hmm. So like you could make really good money. Mm-hmm. You know, if you got 5 sales in a day, you're like sitting pretty. It was like, you know, a few $100s in a day.
Yeah.
And but the funny thing is there's like phone, internet, and TV, right? And at the time, it's like they would give you an incentive. Like the biggest commission was on selling home phone.
Yep.
So you're like really trying to work these people to get them to buy a phone, and like almost every single one of them's like, I have a cell phone. I don't even have a house. It was like at the end of the era of like home phones, but they're like pushing as hard as they can to get more home phones. It's like kind of a funny game to be playing, but.
Well, yeah, and I don't even know why Comcast like trying to push people to have services that they don't need. Like, and then they pay you big bucks to put them in a package that costs less for a certain amount of time. And like, I mean, in all honesty, these people they're like, oh yeah, make sure you tell them, you know, all the details, wink, wink. Yeah. And it's like you're out there like telling, like not disclosing like the promo stuff. I feel like a little bit. It was just a weird situation. Well, like, these bait and switch promos.
Well, too, it was like playing telephone too, because it was like Comcast, like here's all the information, the specials to this company. Yeah. And then that third party company is like, okay, here's your area manager, you tell it to them, and then your area manager is like, I'm trying to make some money, so I can do more drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're like, it's like such a like thankless job. They've got to get anyone that they can to do it, and it's like really interesting to then think too, like who's showing up to your house, because I don't think there was like much of a background check or anything.
Not really.
No.
I don't know if there was any.
I don't even remember. I mean,
But anyway, they're out of business now.
Yeah.
There's no more Comcast contractors anymore. God, I don't even know if they have the door-to-door team anymore. I haven't been in contact with them for a while. But but anyway, that was a wild job. Yeah. That like I made good money and then eventually ended up working directly for Comcast. Mm-hmm. Like, I started my own business with Ricky. Yeah. Which was a friend of mine, and I kind of like got lumped into his business and kind of took on a leadership role, and we were selling Clearwire, actually.
Mm.
Clearwire and Quest and
Yeah.
some Comcast. It was like, but it was all door to door. So
Yeah.
it was basically, I had about 10 years of door to door sales
Mm.
from 2000, maybe 2008 up until about 2017. So maybe
Yeah.
like 9 years. But and then 6 of those years were directly with Comcast.
Damn. Yeah. I remember, like, I did it for a while. I think I only did it for like a year or two, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, and it was kind of like the Kmart thing. I just couldn't, I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like going out. Like, you get so many weird things happen to you. And I was never like super money motivated. So, excuse me. But I remember when you got your job directly for Comcast, even though I knew I hated door to door, it like was so good, like with salary and commission and everything, that I like really was thinking about coming back and like trying to get back in. But I'm thankful I didn't. I don't know what I did at the time, but
and the other thing that happened in that time too, that the third thing that I pulled you into.
Oh yeah.
Good old, what was
ACN,
that? ACN,
yeah.
right? I don't even know. I never knew what that standed for. Maybe it's American Communication Network.
Oh, that's a pretty good guess. I don't know. That would make sense, though. Yeah, I remember that. Yep, nothing like a little bit of multi-level marketing to get your blood going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a pyramid scheme. There's
not a pyramid scheme. Definitely not. Maybe a isosceles triangle or something, but definitely not a pyramid.
Yeah, definitely not a pyramid. It might have been a scheme, though.
Yeah, there's some schemes going.
Is any business not a scheme, though?
They're all schemes,
they're all schemes,
They're all different experiences.
The ones that aren't schemes don't last very long, I feel like.
It is kind of an interesting concept, like the selling stuff to your, like, network. It's like, in one theory, it's like, why not, there's these things that we order all the time. Like, why not, like, cut some of the cost and be your own provider or something. I kind of get it, but
but also there's
all the
poisoning your relationship with your friends, kind of.
Totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still like remember some of the presentations that we put on, and it's like, oh God, I'm sure people remember. If you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed the free pizza.
The other thing I'm sorry for, too, was ACN pushing that hardcore, and then Ron Paul was the other big one. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, brainwashed into Ron Paul.
Yeah.
And, like, I think I got all of my Facebook friends to block me. Yeah. I'm posting, like, politics.
It kind of, like, but... I also was like sorry for, getting so in the clouds there and like living the political fantasy. But it also kind of like going through that, like snapped me out of it too a little bit. Like,
for sure.
And then now I can like see when other people are like that too. They're just like, you have the blinders on and you can't listen to anybody else because you're so convinced that, and like almost brainwashed, if you're really drinking the Kool-Aid, like,
oh yeah.
But
I think we learned lessons from all of those experiences.
Yeah, we learned lessons.
Very valuable.
Also, the multi-level marketing was also a big learning, like self-growth opportunity too, because almost even more than the door-to-door sales, I found that the people in the multi-level marketing were like trying to better their lives and
for sure.
listening to audiobooks and everything.
100%.
So that was kind of inspiring. If only we were all like working together to go for something a little more equitable, it would be amazing. But
I remember, just the vast majority not making anything at all.
And then the ones making money are like, you gotta just keep going. Keep on going.
Mm-hmm. They just like had the best ways of pushing Kool-Aid down your throat.
Yeah, they love the Kool-Aid. They're good at making it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a cool dream,
It was, yeah.
Of like, like finding that passive income, through it, and it was,
It's a neat idea.
I don't know how realistic it was for everybody to get that in the company, but
yeah, that's true. But so then that's kind of, so Comcast, that's kind of where you made your
I think
money.
that was kind of my highest, like where I made the money that I saved to buy property.
Yeah.
And then I like lucked out, and partially lucked out, but also like was really driven to find good properties, and found some good properties that I bought, and and they were like, the numbers made sense, even though some of the tenants maybe didn't make sense, but yeah, I ended up buying a fourplex and a triplex, so 7 units, and that's kind of like 2017. I had acquired both of those when I got laid off, and when I was getting laid off, it was like I kind of calculated, living expenses and stuff, and it was like, well, actually, so I didn't get laid off directly. It was like they actually gave me an option. It was like my team that I was on was like kind of a specialized door-to-door team called New Build.
Special ops, door-to-door.
It was like, it really was. Like everybody was wanting to get on that team because we were all making so much money, because just of the way it was structured, we had all these like hot leads coming in that just wanted the service because they were getting all these houses built and stuff. And
it was like the easiest team too, but it's like,
it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me, like the amount of work to the amount of money was like, I don't know how much I was making an hour, but quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was a good gig, and there was like very little accountability for like, you had one meeting a week. Like you had to go in the office one day a week. Other than that, it was like if you made your numbers, it was fine. You could be on the beaches, wherever, making phone calls, and if you made sales, no one cared.
Yeah,
it was a good gig.
Yeah,
but anyway, so that they figured out. They're on the beaches making money. We need to cancel.
Like we can't be having people making money on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. So
that was the problem, actually. Like anywhere else, but that someone just hated the beach. Like it's probably like a health insurance thing. You're like, dude, our health insurance will not cover skin cancer. And so we can't fucking have these people out here getting tans.
They figured it out because like Instagram was just like getting popular, and everybody's posting these beach pictures on work days.
Like, I thought Johnny was out in the field today, but he's out at the beach getting skin cancer again.
So anyway, I hope I don't have skin cancer after all those beach days.
I think you're good. You're like, you didn't go to the beach too much during that time.
No.
Yeah.
No, I was mostly in my underwear.
Yeah. At home. Yeah. You were right where they wanted you to be. It's a shame they didn't let you go because you were doing what they wanted.
But yeah, so then they gave me the option. You can transition to this new position, which is going to pay you significantly less.
Yeah.
Or we'll pay you like $50,000 or like some pretty substantial amount of money to because we're going to kick you out.
Yeah.
And so I took the severance, and I just started not working at that point.
Yeah.
I maybe took like there might have been like a week or two where I was like, should I find another job? Well, actually there was actually a couple months of where it's like, I need to find another job so I can collect unemployment.
Oh yeah.
So there was a period where I was looking for a job, but then after that unemployment ran out, I don't think I was really looking for a job at that point. It slowly set in that I'm fine. I don't have to work for someone else.
Yeah.
I've got income and I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. It's probably hard to believe at first. When
it really was.
It just keeps coming, and like it's enough to live on.
Yeah.
Not to jump ahead too far, but I mean, it's also impressive that you even went through a divorce where she tried to took half.
That wasn't too far after that. Like, we traveled around the world. Actually, we went from 2017 to 2020. We had gone like to a lot of different countries where it was like I had a lot of time, so it was like I remember before that we traveled too, but it was only during vacation time. But I had tons of free time after I got laid off, so and that was probably part of the problem.
Oh yeah.
That made the relationship a little hard, was all my free time. But so anyway, we traveled around the world, and then 2020, rolled around, and the relationship wasn't.
Was that already 5 years ago?
5 years ago, man.
Dang.
Yeah, I know. I was actually talking to someone about that the other day too. How long it's been since COVID.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow.
Wow, time flies.
Time's flying.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, a lot has happened since 2025.
I mean,
for
that
me,
was kind of like a long time coming, though, because you guys were even going on. That's one thing like about the internet and social media that is so fascinating too.
Yeah.
Like, if someone was looking at your life through a social media lens, they'd see you going to all these countries, being at the beach, working. At the
Not
beach,
on my
getting
social
scanned.
media, but maybe
hers. Yeah, she was posting on social media.
Yeah.
But you guys were kind of miserable. Like, you guys were fighting and stuff during a lot of those trips, and like, it actually wasn't that great.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, I've felt that way. Yeah, about some of my long-term relationships, and I don't know. It could be a flaw of mine to get into kind of a negative state, and when I'm in a relationship to like focus on the negative. And I do think if you do that, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. And I think I have been guilty of focusing too much on the negative in a relationship, but definitely there was a lot of negative stuff that was going on. But of course, social media can't see that. Like, I don't know anybody who posts like an argument or like a
check it out now,
conflict
dude.
Resolution, Yeah.
She wanted chicken and I brought her pork. Right. And she's fucking pissed. Look at her. Dude, she kicked me out of the room.
You're like having like an argument, and you're just like, all right, dude, social media, this is reality.
Smile,
here.
babe.
Yeah, right. You're like, start a vlog about all your arguments that you have.
Yeah, if I ever get in a relationship again, I'm just post the bad.
I would totally watch that, actually.
That'd be interesting.
Like, it would be really interesting, especially if there was like some interesting things to take from them.
Yeah,
some like lessons.
Yeah, actually, that'd be kind of cool.
Like, you go back over the argument afterwards, and you just break it down.
Overcame it.
Yeah, yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
For sure.
You just got to be cuckolded and like just serve them, and then
I mean, honestly, yeah. Like, I think if I would have taken that view more than than like independence.
I'm a little too stubborn, I think, to like, I don't know. But yeah, and then that's when we after, I could tell you guys were on the verge of divorce.
Right.
You were miserable. My mom even said, like,
it was a super dark time in my life. Like, probably the darkest time in my life. Like, it was like cause I'm pretty, and I've learned to sense when I'm doing this, but I'm good at like enduring like tough things and like letting go of them without really resolving them. And it's really not a good habit, because it does build up. Like, even though you think you're letting it go, unless you really completely resolve it with the other person, there's still remnants and build up going on, and then tension and resentments build. But anyway, I was able to do that. Like, I remember in 2015 we went for a hike to Index.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first times I started to bring up like my concerns about the relationship. So I was able to that was where I realized I don't think I want to be in this really. And then I was able to stay in that for 5 more years. Yeah.
That's probably how you stayed in door-to-door sales for so long too. Yeah. Just bury it. Yeah. I remember that in Index, like I can imagine too, when you marry someone and you think you're going to be with them and like that's it, then to come to this conclusion, like, I don't know if I want to do this, or I don't know if this can be fixed. Like, what a hard thing to grasp.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
when the fantasy is being unraveled.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, relationships are like a difficult one.
Yeah, and then that's when we went to not in 2020 before your divorce. That's when we went to our yoga training at Yandara in Mexico for the first time.
Yeah, I had never done like gone to a yoga class or done like the physical. I didn't know any of the poses, nothing. And it was like, you invited me to go on this like journey down a yoga path. And it was like, well, I need to get out of here. Like,
it's like, I don't know about yoga, but I got to get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
And, that was a life transforming time for me. The funny thing too, is like a big part of one of the limbs of yoga is actually breath work. And I had started breath work since before that. So I kind of had done some portion of yoga. And I was also doing like mobility stuff for years. So I had some good mobility and flexibility. So those things definitely helped transition over into, and mindfulness too, you know?
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that meditation was yoga.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that breath work was yoga.
That's the weird thing about yoga is there's so many pieces to it. And, you know, if you get picky and start tracking things back, it's like, where did sitting in silence first begin? It's like, when did like chanting, when did stretching just begin? It's just like, yoga is cool because it's been like consolidated into this like digestible format that's straightforward and easily taught. But, you know, who gets the first claims on these things, you know? Or like, you know, breath work, it's like, you don't think people were playing with their breath work?
Who was breathing first?
Yeah, who was breathing in a different pattern, like just to try it? Like, who was like holding their breath until they passed out first, you know?
Done that.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Oh, yeah. But that was an awesome trip, going down to Mexico and doing yoga, and it was like adult camp.
Yeah.
That's how I'd like to describe it.
That was like definitely, like we talked about those 6 month transition of drunk us and crazy us when we transitioned. You know, when I had a transition with the sales, you know, like we both seemed to have a transition there. This was another transition for us. Yeah. Again, a huge transition in life.
Absolutely.
Especially for me going through that divorce, you know, like, and then my cat died on that trip too.
I was just thinking that, like,
yeah, that was a really hard time, but I mean, it was beautiful, like letting go of all these things, and then like kind of finding more of the truth of like the truth about what life is and about what my existence is, and like who I am and what self is in a way. It was a beautiful transition.
That is such a beautiful time. Like, I think anyone going through divorce could probably benefit from a yoga teacher training.
Absolutely.
But just the, like, you know, life isn't exactly what it appears, or it's not our first idea, and that like our minds can turn it into something. It's like that, the fantasy relationship that we were talking about in the beginning. It's like what your mind comes up with is not always the truth. And so being able to, you know, get a different perspective of life outside of that can like, change your life.
Yeah.
And then once I'm curious, you know, being, you know, retired, do you ever want to like go back and become a vet or something? Like get back to your roots, or like really
maybe a stripper.
Oh yeah. Donate now for a low price of 99 cents a month. You too could support a young girl going through college.
Or you could fund my stripping career.
Yeah, or actually Nathan already has started his stripping career. There's a fun fact about him where he cut his teeth on this. I was there. I was one of his first beta groups for his strip tease.
Wait, I cut my teeth? I broke my teeth or what?
Oh, no, I broke my teeth, literally. But no, To cut your teeth on something is like a saying of like getting your hands dirty or something. Okay. It's like, now I'm like, lately I've been looking up all these sayings, like where did that come from? Like what does that even mean, to cut your teeth on? I don't know. Yeah, that was the appropriate
but
reaction.
I cut my teeth.
The stripping.
But yeah. I remember it was like I was drunk, actually hungover that day.
Oh yeah.
We all went to Pita Pit. I think I was the whole group.
Oh, I had a Pita Pit era where I just all I wanted to eat when I was hungover was Pita Pit.
I mean, it was one of the closest restaurants to our house.
And you could get a haircut next door with girls in short referee.
Seriously?
It was
man, I didn't.
And they give you like a massage. That. It was like the Hooters of haircutting places.
Dang.
Yeah, that's probably what's inspired this.
Ooh, what was that called?
Cuts and Butts. No, I don't know. I don't know what it was called, but yeah. Okay, Pita Pit. Yeah. We're hungover.
Sports clips.
Oh yeah.
I've been to one.
Yeah.
I've been to one, not the one in Puyallup, but I went to one recently. They do a free military haircut.
What?
On Veterans Day, yeah.
Oh, on Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
It was a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Okay, so
I don't remember short shorts though.
I might have made that up. Okay, I don't know.
Well, if it's in your memory,
it's in there.
We can leave it
in my mind.
We'll leave it in
there. They were wearing a Hooters
accurate
outfit that looked like a referee, and they were giving me a massage and a haircut.
I remember the massage.
Might have been a dream. I don't know.
Was there a happy ending to this massage?
Hopefully. I think I woke up. All right, so we're still hungover. We're still at Pita Pit. We're gonna be here a while.
Hungover at Pita Pit. My mom calls me, and I'm like, should I answer? Because we're with everybody, but I'm okay. So I like walk over to like the corner of the room or something. I'm chatting with my mom, and she's basically like, so, my friend is having a bachelorette party, and I'm wondering if you want to be the stripper for it. And it's like, wait, what?
You're like, Mom. Is it Mom? Is this you?
What are you talking about, Mom? Are you going to be there?
Yeah.
I don't want you to watch me strip.
I just love, like, your mom's friend is like, I think I want to have a stripper. And your mom's like, I know just the guy for the job.
Well, the thing is, she actually, this gal, she like had come on to me several times.
Your mom's like, now's your chance.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much. And I was like, I mean, I wasn't really into it, but I was like, this is a chance for a unique experience. So I was down. As long as you're not there, Mom, I'm down.
Yeah.
And
I think I'd have that rule too if my mom asked me to strip for a friend.
Yeah, that would be weird if your mom was in the room.
It's a little weird. I mean, they've seen everything before, but
true,
but maybe not
in that way.
At what age does that become weird? You know, like your kid dancing around naked.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's the money. As soon as it's for money, then you got to draw the line.
I'm pretty sure most, if not every parent is like, hopes their kid doesn't become a stripper.
Yeah. I wonder, do you think strippers also feel that way? They're like, I want my kid to grow up just
Except
like
for
me.
strippers.
Except for strippers.
Maybe.
So
I mean, it's probably 50-50.
Family business.
It's probably 50-50. I bet you some strippers are like, this is the best gig ever.
Yeah.
I'd love it if my kids did this.
I've met some that really like it.
They like raise their kids to be strippers.
I don't know if they're just saying that, but
like get a child stripper pole. And
like a little play toy, like Toys R Us, like strip castle.
Some parents, they like set their they like implant in their kids' mind when they're young. They basically brainwash their kids for success to be like what they want their kids to be. Like what's their greatest version of their kids. They start to like brainwash their kids to go towards that. So like some stripper,
all these little things like around the house.
They buy a Barbie that's a stripper, and you can take her
Barbie,
clothes off. And
stripper Ken. Yeah, that was like your dad was like, and your mom was like, we're gonna go caroling this year, You just start off like that, going door to door, and then all of a sudden, like, well, now you're selling Cub Scout or Boy Scout cookies, and you're like, or Boy Scouts really got the shaft on the popcorn thing.
Oh yeah.
Is that they sell popcorn or something?
I think so.
Yeah, Girl Scout. How did they work that deal out?
Yeah, the cookies versus
cookies
the popcorn,
versus popcorn. Like, I don't know who's coming up with this stuff, but
yeah, they got to make it harder for the boys. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Popcorn seems like, unless it's like
you want a challenge.
Maybe
you want to learn
really
something. Try selling
popcorn
for $5.
Yeah,
you know?
unless it's delicious popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, they wanted the challenge and the girls wanted the money.
Oh, you get a special badge.
Yeah.
If you sell
popcorn badge. Yeah. Dude, I want the popcorn badge. I want some popcorn.
But anyway, yeah. Stripping. We've gotten
really all I want to know is, like, you're retired. Is there anything, like, what happens after retirement? Are there things you aspire to or things you want to do, or, you know? Some people
I've had dreams of, like, starting my own business, or starting some type of just some company that is successful. Like, that's been a dream of mine. And I think that dream was kind of more about money probably back in the day. But I think it's evolved to, like, where I think just, like, figuring out how to help other people, and sharing whatever gifts I can with people. Stripping.
Yeah, stripping. Like the gift of my sexy body.
Yeah, and, like, just positively impacting other people, I think, and giving back in a way is kind of like where my mind goes a lot of times. Yeah.
Yeah. How has that been? Like,
I mean, there's definitely been ups and downs. Like, I think I have some of the traits it requires to, like, have a successful business.
Yeah.
But then other ones, like, are harder for me.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot of different things. And I don't know.
Well, I kind of wonder, like, people often say, like, oh, if I had more money, I would do this. Or, like, if money wasn't an object, you could really do whatever you wanted, right? But then if you had all the money, like, why would you do anything to, like, create responsibility for yourself to make money? Like, I imagine that feels kind of hard to be like, oh, I got to show up 9 to 5 every day when I don't have to.
Yeah. I don't think I really have, like, I think some of those, like, business owners that continue to create successful businesses. I mean, everybody has different drives, right? Like, some of them is definitely, like, a power thing, which I think I have, like, very little desire for that. And that could be part of why I'm not very successful
like
at starting
world domination,
a business. Right.
Kind of power.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with, like, the amount of money I'm making and the things I can do with the money, like, on a personal level.
Yeah.
Like, as far as making, like, a difference in people's lives, I feel like I still have aspirations of, like, being able to help people or being able to make a positive impact. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, like, with that kind of balance, do you feel like you're happy or content or something? Like, where does it land on that spectrum? Like, money's taken care of, no issue.
Like, sometimes there's a feeling of purposelessness, because my time's not occupied. So I maybe have enough time to, like, ponder too much and get worried about stuff a little bit. It comes and it goes, though. It comes in waves. Sometimes I'm like, I just take action on stuff and it feels really good, and then other times I sit there and wallow in self-pity type of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I, like, it definitely gives you more time and freedom, which is I'm grateful for. I think a lot of people that are working a job don't even have the time to do the reflection of like what they really want, and like and like do self-reflection enough to realize they're feeling such and such way or whatever. So I don't know, I'm very grateful for sure. And like if I really felt that it would be a better thing if I had a job, I could get a job.
Yeah.
If I wanted to. I mean, there's nothing stopping me.
Yeah. What if you had to get a job right now, where would you start looking?
I think part of me is like, I'd like to acquire like what would be in it for me in the job. So like I see your job as a barista, and how you get to chat with people and you get like a skill that way. And like I don't chat with that many people, and like it seems like all you do all day long is just chat with people and make coffee. So
yeah,
I think that could be fun. I did think about that. It doesn't like pay very much. Yeah. But it would probably be fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. It's nice. It's like, a little bit better. It's like, it's not the worst, it's not the best, but it is really fun, and I get to like connect with the community and stuff, and so that's why I appreciate about it.
Yeah, I think connecting with the community would be really nice. Yeah. We kind of got that in the yoga. Yeah. Yoga in the park. And
another thing will be, this is a little bit premature probably, but Nathan and I are going to host a retreat over the winter time, maybe sometime in January, February, as like a winter refill for all those, depressed, vitamin D deficient people up in the Northwest, or just people that need a little break from the winter. Can come on and do yoga with us, and like really enjoy. There'll be a lot of playfulness throughout that, but so you still do like a little bit of work and stuff. It's not like you don't have things and you have to take care of your properties.
I mean, definitely taking care of the properties. Sometimes it's a full-time job. Depends on the tenants you get, but recently it's been a full-time job. And occupies a lot of my mental bandwidth, I feel like. But I don't know. Cool. It's I definitely have things that occupy my time, and
so retirement isn't complete retirement. There's still little things like come up and have to be taken care of. I think even someone that has like a pension or something, I still think there's stuff you got to do, take care of the house, like
for sure.
Life doesn't stop.
Yeah, I can't just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah, like passive income doesn't like really exist. Maybe for if you got a lot of money, but you can just like someone else is like doing it all for you, and then say like, hey, you want some Bitcoin this time or something? I don't know. Yeah,
the ultimate goal of just sitting there in meditation and having absolutely no one bother you.
Yeah, and the funny thing is about that is you can do that for free anyways. You don't need any of the money. It's such a choice. Both ways is just a choice.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We definitely rambled a little bit, but it was really fun.
It was fun.
Hope it was fun to listen to. It's good to hear your insight on things, knowing you for so long. There's always like little pieces that I didn't know, or like little aspects or perspectives that, there's always so many sides to the coin.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Glad we got to chat.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for watching the podcast.
Thank you, guys.
See you next time.